I would like to ask the president of the World Halal Food Council, Fahahd Saleh Alaredh, to make his presentation.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.
We thank Allah. All praises to Allah because for making it possible to pray for the followers and companions. Mr. Mayor, Excellencies, audience, first of all, I would like to welcome those who come from the four corners of the planet to take part to this global meeting in response of the invitation of Halal Italy Association. We thank our guests, and I would like to mention His Excellency Sharif Lorenzini and the other brothers who work with him in the Halal International Authority for their commitment in organizing this incredible opportunity and meeting and for its organization. This meeting would not have been made possible without the blessing of Halal, which made you come from all over the world to this meeting to reach important objectives. I would like to tell you something very positive. You who work in the halal production in the world and your brothers in the Halal International Authority. Halal International Italia is about to publish a book which includes all rules regarding the parameters for halal production and importance of halal certifications and certification authorities. Thanks to all these efforts, we hope that this initiative will be fruitful on the level of the consumption of halal goods and for the benefit of the economy. This will also help the certification bodies, which will be able to work with safe tests for the production of food, medicines, and so on. This is a part of the halal industry. Halal production is based on Quran laws. It is a pleasure for me today to tell you about the Islamic financing of the Islamic banking at this period of economic crisis. Just a few words on that. This is the ideal moment to do this. In the study of the crisis, we try to read the most serious crisis, and the most serious crisis nowadays is the financial one, which is devastating the world with the default in many state budgets. Also, the debt of states is worsening, and the stock markets are falling, and the unemployment and inflation are growing. You know very well that amongst the results which brought us to this point, financing based on the idea of usury, with an increase of interests to incredible heights. There has also been the diffusion of securitization and other derivatives, which simply have the name of development, but the reality is just the opposite. The rescue program of USA tries to encourage the economic development by increasing the revenues in order to come out of this economic crisis with increase of losses and default of many companies, with the increase of pessimism and the incapability to eliminate fears. Many economists have invited states to buy a part of the financial sector and buy many treasury bonds and many financings that now have no value. One of the main European economists has said that during such crises we should read Quran to better understand what is happening now. After this, there have been many initiatives and attempts to apply the Islamic banking in UK and in other countries on the basis of the words of Marisa Haben, who won the Nobel Prize. Many non-Islamic states are trying to amend and reduce the level of interest to zero to come out of these debt crises. And this is exactly what Islamic law invites us to do, which has forbidden usury and interests, as you know very well, and as all those who work in halal industry know very well. The common sense, experience, and nowadays needs ask us to be more practical in applying Islamic principles in finance sector. Now we are trying to apply Islamic banking principles to open the doors of such financing to Islamic finance. As you know, Islamic principle respects individual ownership without fraud, without lies, without overlooking the role of the state as a partner to the development together with the private sector, with a social balance, so that well-being will not be just a gift for a few, without any extremism, with the elimination of the private ownership, like the social systems did, without making the private ownership sacred, just like capitalism did. And capitalism is now in agony. Dear guests, we have various financing tools. We have many Islamic financing tools which have been applied and which have caused an increase in quality not only in the halal industry production but also in finishing economic crises which have happened. Amongst such financing tools, we have the financing through with the leasing, with the subsequent purchase. So it is the salam, which is an agreement with late payment. There are other Islamic financing forms. The financing through the active financing, which finishes with the purchase of the good, through formulas of bonds and other formulas like musharaka or mudaraba, which end with the purchase of the good. And then there is another form of financing with securitization for real estate, medicines, food, well, all these forms of financing, and I repeat, when all these forms will be applied, we will put on the market incredible quantities of money which can be invested in halal industry. As for the finances and those who borrow money, so lenders and borrowers will become part of the system according to very precise laws and rules. So just a recommendation, please spread Islamic financing and halal formula, because they focus very much on the application of Islamic law for food, medicines, with a healthy implementation. And this will be possible through certification by institutions, so that the consumer is protected. And the authorities which issue such certificates will guarantee the safety of the consumers. The important thing is to make studies to assess who can issue such certificates. Our aim is not a financial one. On the contrary, our aim is that of a society which does not divide in the light of divine precepts. I invoke the blessing of Allah Almighty. All praise to Allah and our Prophet of Allah.